once kind of thing. I
So
think that's how
there
that's-
is a setting for it to be multiple time use or one time use. I put it to 3 times.
Oh, dang.
What?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I won't abuse
Yeah.
it. I'll only use it one time. I don't want to jam you up.
Use it as many times. Just use it as
Hey,
many times.
Slurpee,
as
we are
fun.
currently live, BT dubs.
I'll call my loan officer.
Aren't we on the start?
You guys enjoy the podcast?
What is up,
I'll send it
nerds? I'm Silver Slurpee. Welcome to the podcast. I'm joined by Hondo, Skinny Nerd, and our special guest of the day, owner and operator of Warlock Comics, Moises, Mr. Warlock himself. Thanks for coming on the podcast today. Super stoked to have you. We love your shop. For those of you that don't know, Warlock Comics is an online comic book shop and great way to get your books delivered straight to your door. They release every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on New Comic Book Day. And yeah, it's super awesome to have you on. And I'll kind of
Thank you.
kick off with the first question. I guess, like, when did you first get into comic books?
So I always kind of struggle on putting down a specific date for when I first got into comic books. The earliest comic book that I remember reading and buying was a Army of Darkness compendium from the Evil Dead series. I got it at
very
like
cool.
Barnes and Nobles when I was in like middle school. I got that a long ass time ago and I read through the whole thing. The first comic that I got really into, like consistently reading every volume, was Snyder's 52 Batman.
Awesome.
That was like the first, that was like the first thing that I think it was in high school. I was like reading volume after volume of that shit. And then I kind of just like was doing it loosely for a long time. And then I think it was like pre-pandemic, probably like right before the pandemic, 2018 to 19, somewhere in between then, when I like went to my local comic book shop. I think it was just kind of like I weirdly enough, because I'm not a huge Venom fan. I don't know why I was like, I want to read the Venom stuff. So I went to a comic book shop and I picked up some like Venom trades that they were putting out at the time. And like I read through those. And then I just was like, okay, I'll start collecting like the floppies and stuff. So I started getting into that. And then just from that, it kind of just like snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. So as far as like collecting floppies and single issues and like the weekly, kind of like the weekly warrior thing or whatever of getting new comic books, that's kind of a newer thing for me. Like it's only been since like I'd say like mid of 2018. But I mean, comic books have always been prevalent throughout my whole life. Like I've been reading comics since I was a little kid, reading comics in middle school, reading comics in high school. Like it's always been around, but it hasn't been like a, like a, how would I put it? Like a serious thing since like maybe the last 5 years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What? Just get some of the basic silly questions out of the way first. Who would you say is your favorite superhero? You can do one from
Shit, so
Marvel
I
and
always struggle
DC
with
if
this
you
one
want,
too.
but
For sure. I mean, for DC is the easiest one because it's Batman.
Okay.
I fucking love Batman, dude. I grew up on Batman. Like I said, New 52. I used to also have these like, I used to rent out these library books that were just like collections of old, I think it's like stuff from the 70s, a lot of like Neil Adams Batman
awesome.
stuff. So I was reading that. So for DC, it's really simple. It's just Batman, which I'm sure a lot of people have that as an answer.
Fair enough.
Neil
for
Adams
Marvel-
isn't too bad.
No, I love it.
He's all right. He's all right.
And then when it goes to Marvel, it's a little bit more complicated because it's been a lot of different characters throughout the years. Weirdly enough, one of the first like Marvel characters that I really got into, and it kind of sucks because it's only a one series character. I got really into Eternals, like Jack Kirby's
Oh,
Eternals.
very interesting.
I love that shit. I love the art. I love the characters, and I still really do. But just the Jack Kirby stuff. I've never actually read any of the Neil Gaiman. The Neil Gaiman stuff, and then there was actually, I think it was Karen Gillian did a run in like 2018, I think, and stuff.
Nice.
And then after that, I got really into Doctor Strange, and right now, my favorite character is Captain America. I really like
Okay.
Captain America.
Have you been reading his current run, I'm assuming?
I'm super behind. I need to catch up on that.
Steve
I
Rogers
just
Captain America, or which one? Or does it matter?
What's that?
Steve Rogers Captain America? Are we talking?
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't really read a lot of like the Falcon Captain America stuff or Sam Wilson. I mean, there was like the I think they did like a 5-issue miniseries for like a quick second. I read that, and that's like the extent of it. I've read a little bit of the Ed Brubaker stuff, but most of the Captain America stuff that I read was like the original '60s Jack Kirby, Stan Lee stuff.
heck yeah.
I read a lot
I'll
of
be
that.
honest. I have fun anytime Falcon is Captain America because then we get to have U.S. Agent getting the crap kicked out of him by everybody else
dude.
in Marvel. The
Dude,
bit
that was another like
Daredevil.
run that like I loved.
the bit
Yeah,
of
dude,
Daredevil dropping in on him and being like, they didn't send. That's why you're not right with God. That's why they sent the devil.
Yeah.
Great.
Damn, dude, hell yeah! But that's another series too, or another run. I got super into the Epic collections. You guys read any of the like Marvel Epic collections or collect any of those?
I don't
No,
think
it's
I
like
have.
trade. They're like a trade paperback series that they've been doing since I think 2014, and they're like the in between like a single volume of a trade and like a compendium. They're like $50, and they collect like probably 30 issues in them, and
think I've
they're
seen-
numerical one through. And they'll do like a character from the very beginning. So if you want to read Captain America, it starts at like it'll actually start at Tales of Suspense, whatever issue that he first showed up in, and then goes all the way through. But I read the Captain America series. It was like one of the really early ones that I read all the way through. With I'm trying to remember who it was that wrote it, but it's the U.S. agent story where like he drops the shield off at the U.S. government and is just like I'm out, and he goes to be what's his name, Nomad. Yeah, he goes off to be Nomad, and then John Walker takes over the shield and everything like that. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite ones. I'm trying to remember who the name of the artist is, or the writer who did that though. Keep wanting to say Ed Brubaker, but it's not. Obviously, it's not Mark. Is it Mark Guggenheim?
Skinny
Or Mark
Nerd can look
Greenwald?
it up here.
Give me 1 second.
I think it's Greenwald.
He's
It would have been
our
U.S. Agent's first appearance.
Yeah.
Captain America 3/23, November 1986. It is Grunwald, Mark Grunwald.
Yeah, it's a really good run. It's really cool. It's like I like it almost as like a what if. You just kind of get to see this like what if Captain America was just like amoral, just like an asshole, and just he's a piece of shit in that story too. Like he's a straight up racist. And he goes crazy with it. And I actually did you guys watch Falcon Winter Soldier?
Yes.
It was good. It was a good one. Yeah,
That was cool. I think they did a really good job with their like John Walker.
I actually
Yeah.
I feel like that show kind of got a lot of hate. I enjoyed it. I thought it was solid. I did like that quite a bit. And I think what makes it cool is because how you mentioned it's almost like a what if story, but it's not. And it is in like the main universe. So I feel like it feels cool when stories and comics have like actual impact on the main universe.
Yeah.
The what if stuff is cool and I like it. I even liked the what if show quite a bit. But I always enjoy
to
stuff.
just, like, put that away
when it happens in the main universe, because then it feels like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah.
The thing that's super cool about U.S. Agent is he really helps define who Captain America is, because U.S. Agent and John Walker kind of operate as a what if Captain America wasn't like the best possible embodiment of what patriotism is meant to be. right? Like
Yeah.
U.S. Agent basically falls over the edge into like nationalism versus patriotism, which I think
100%.
helps better
100%.
define what Captain America is meant to be.
Yeah, and I mean it's cool because like I I sometimes, I mean, especially with like, stuff going on now and everything, there's this idea of kind of being like, wow, I don't know, if you're someone who's not super familiar with the comic books, hearing somebody saying like, oh, like my favorite character is Captain America, and it makes you feel like a little like, oh, like why is that your favorite character?
Yeah.
If you have like, if you have opinions about stuff. But then I'm like, you know what though? If you feel like Captain America is a character who's like too jingoistic or anything, read the John Walker stuff because that's a story where you really do see a Captain America who's just like ultra patriotic and just kind of like does whatever
Yeah.
his country wants him to do, will murder people, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
So
There's
that's
stuff
like
going
a
on
good
right now?
kinda, like, yeah.
Um. So I think obviously like one of the biggest questions is what made you want to open your own shop essentially. There's obviously hundreds of thousands of comic book readers out there and huge fans and everything that are picking up their comics every week. And I think like my personal dream, like I would love to open like a comic shop one day. Like that's the ultimate dream. I don't know what kind of pushed you to ultimately do it.
Oh man, I always was just like a big fan of like I loved just doing stuff that belongs to me in the sense of like into my personal life stuff. Before I got into this, when I was in high school and everything, I wanted to be a filmmaker. I was really into like filmmaking. I got really into it. And like the further that I got into that, kind of going down into school and stuff like that, or going to study for it, I was kind of just like, man, this field of study is kind of just like teaching you to be another part of that like cog in the machine. It's not like a super creative, like you don't feel very expressive with your creativity in it. So that kind of like lost my energy for that. But the idea was that like I always just wanted to do my own thing. I always wanted to have something that like belonged to me, and I could just kind of put 100% energy into it and have it be my like project completely. And there was different things that I've been wanting to do throughout the years, and then I eventually just kind of landed on comic books because it was such a big part of my life at the time. And I was seeing stuff like the Absolute Universe kind of exploding, and I was seeing a lot of other stuff that was kind of happening at the time, and I just kind of at one point I just kind of was just like, fuck it, I'll try it. Let's just do it. Like I'm just gonna like put the money out for it, try to figure it out. At first, it just kind of started like comic book flipping. Honestly, it was like eBay sells,
Yeah.
hunting down stuff at like thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, and it was really tough just because when it comes to that, you're buying a lot of bulk of like old stuff that's in someone's garage, and sadly, like a lot of the stuff is like all stuff from like the 90s or the super late 80s, so it's just like it's the most like bulk of bulk that there is. I've got like a whole box full of a bunch of like new universe stuff, like the Marvel new universe shit, and I'm just like, no one's gonna buy this, man. Or actually, I have a box that's full of a bunch of those like Marvel encyclopedia comics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I mean, they're cool. They're cool to like sit through and like look at and everything. And I'm like, I know that there's someone out there who probably will be like, I want them because I want to sit down and read through all of them. But like, other than when I come across that person, they'll be there for them, but that's gonna sit there forever. So it took a really long time that I was just kind of like, man, like this isn't really working. And in my head, the next step was just being like, I need to make this more official. I can't just be kind of flipping like comics on eBay. I was like, I need to kind of take this and try to make it into like an official business and getting into like the weekly releases.
Heck yeah.
So that's what kind of like pushed me into being like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out setting up with the distributor and setting up with like the websites and all that stuff, which was really daunting because I don't have any kind of study or I don't have any kind of like background in management or even like marketing or business education and stuff. So truthfully, this is all being done like on the fly and just kind of putting it together as I go along. I've met a lot of really cool people who own comic book shops, a lot of friends who've like helped me along the way, and taught me a lot of things. But I'm still on a like learning process, basically.
Heck yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
man, that's
I'm
kind of what it means.
I'm sure Hondo has a question, but to kind of lead into that, he was the one that ultimately like found you first and told us all about Warlock Comics and everything.
Mhm.
You're
So
welcome.
I was kind of curious when
Thank you.
when did Warlock Comics officially like open or like become a thing?
But yeah, officially, I don't exactly know the day, but it is September of 2025. So I'm actually coming up on a year
Oh wow, okay.
next month.
And
Yeah.
Hondo, when did you find Warlock?
When Absolute Batman 15 came out, I think is when I first jumped onto Warlock. And because I just saw you came up on my TikTok, I was like, "Oh, this is sick. I'd rather,
Oh, nice.
buy from you instead of, Golden Apple or Third Eye or whoever it is,
Yeah,
Um,
I appreciate that.
and you don't
December.
charge tax, so that is freaking sick. I don't know if people know that. That's a big selling point, in my opinion, especially if people buy a bunch of shit. Yeah, so I do have a question though. Can we, Moises, please think of the answer when I ask this question, and I want us all to guess. How many long boxes do we think he has?
Oh,
Let us know what you.
okay, so you know what? Let's change it from long boxes to short boxes because I actually have more short boxes than I do long boxes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh man.
but I actually just went through them and numbered them.
Do you have a
Oh, so you know
count on?
exactly how many you have right now.
I feel like with
Yes.
all the new books every single week, it's got to be insane.
Yeah, I mean the available inventory is over 1,000, and who knows if you have multiple copies of everything, which you probably do, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying
Luckily,
You're
comics
a-
are small;
a
they don't
stud.
take up too much
Yeah.
space.
That's true.
All right,
But space is super limited.
I'm gonna go 15 short boxes. I don't know if I'm way too
What do you
low,
got?
but
What do you
I'm
got,
going
skinny
15.
nerd?
I'm feeling like 30 to 40.
I'll take 41, Bob. What do you
Okay,
What do you
those are all
got?
the guesses in.
Yeah.
I think that's all I guess is in.
41.
Oh!
shit!
Just hit 41.
You fucking with me?
literally
I think
just
you
hit
guys
40.
set this up beforehand.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
messaging
getting
on
started
Instagram
right
so-
now, Slurpee.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it is
What?
nuts, man.
Yeah,
Where'd
well,
you put it?
I was gonna guess high, and then you were like, "Yeah, limited room." I was like, "Oh, maybe he like, I don't know, sells them pretty quick or something." I don't know.
I wish. Shit.
Yeah,
No,
buy
dude.
some
So
fucking books, dude.
what's that?
I said buy some books, everybody.
Yeah, buy some books because I'm running
Yeah.
out of space here.
We need to start throwing these short boxes in the trash, man. Where do you put it all? What you have a room?
I have a room that I have set up as a kind of like office storage room. The only problem is that I split that room with family, so it's kind of this kind of pushback and having to kind of fit stuff in there. But that space is just getting more and more packed. I'm actually looking into right now currently either getting a storage unit, which is doable, but it is an expense to have to put into it. Or if I can find something for super cheap, I'm looking into getting like an office space maybe and just kind of working out of that. But right now it's literally just stacking boxes on top of each other and on top of each other. And like, God forbid, anytime it's a cool thing to have that like somebody can, there's a book that I ordered all the way back in last October, and then somebody finally like orders it, and I'm like, cool, it finally sold. But then that means I have to like dig all the way goddamn back the first box. So that's always like a nightmare.
How do you sort? Is it all alphabetical? Is it by publisher?
Numerical.
What do you do?
I sort by the dates of release, the week.
Oh,
So
okay.
my
Yeah.
boxes, they're numbered 1 through 41. And then the first one, which I don't remember the exact week, but it's like December 15th. And then, well, when I first started, it was really small. So, I could fit multiple weeks in those first boxes. December 15th and then December, whatever, 27th. And so it kind of goes through that. And then they kind of just come down. So it's like multiple rows of boxes. And like I said, at the beginning, it started pretty simple because you could fit multiple weeks into the same box, but then over time it would be like 1 week would take up the whole box, or then I think it was like the first week where the first time that I had like one of the really really big orders was when they did the Superman Spider-Man crossover, and I had to like order every cover just to be sure that like I was involved, and like that one was like 2 boxes for 1 week.
That week alone filled up like half of a long box for me because I bought way too many of them.
And those books were huge too. Like
I know.
individually,
They were thick,
huge.
yeah.
Oh, they were massive.
Yeah.
But it was cool, and I was like, you know, how many times is Superman and Spider-Man going to cross over? It's been a long time, so
Yeah. Still got a lot of those. I was hoping for them to sell a lot faster.
I know my shop has. There's still like I think they have like 24 copies of Superman, Superman, Spider-Man on the shelves. It's wild.
Yeah, they're cool books to have because it's something that like you can take to a show, and then because you meet a lot of people at shows who are just like, I don't really collect, but then you kind of try to hook them into it, and like it's a good sell, you know, just be like, hey, you know, like there's a Marvel DC crossover or whatever, you haven't done that since the 90s, and then they get like, oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
So that's good for shows like that. But I also know that like, yeah, every shop was ordering 1 million of them, so it's not like they're rare. It's not like they're hard to come across. They're gonna be like accessible. So
I think from the Superman Spider-Man, I think the one that has retained its value the best or gone up in value the most is that black suit Superman Spider-Man cover.
Yeah,
I forgot who
that's a Delotto. I think he did that.
Yeah, that one went fast. I'm trying to think of which other ones. There was that one.
Sick.
I think if there was any for the Spider-Man Superman ones.
Nakamo is cool.
Nakamo, yeah.
Ray Superman.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that one's cool.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. The Peach Momoko one too. Of course, stuff just kind of goes all the time.
Yeah. Peach Momoko does very
good.
well. Is there are there any books? I guess the better question would be, do you think what is like the most overhyped book from your opinion? Like in the last year, kind of since you've been selling, and then what do you think is probably the most underrated book in your opinion, that you know maybe doesn't sell as well, but you think is a great book?
Okay, but when you say overhyped, do you also mean like it's got a lot of hype but doesn't sell well, or just personally, I don't think that
just,
like
or like overhyped? Maybe it sells, probably better than, or it sells really well, but maybe you don't think it's quite as good as some of the other books that aren't selling as well, kind of thing.
I do actually have an answer for that, and it's going to be a tough one just because it's going to sound blasphemous, man. But I honestly think that I like it, but I think that Absolute Batman's a little overhyped.
Yes,
I was gonna say it.
I agree. That was my freaking.
I like it, but I also think that it's just like it's way overhyped when you have like Absolute Martian Manhunter, which it did get its like roses eventually.
Yep.
But Absolute Wonder Woman, man, people are not talking about it enough. That shit is so good. And
Wonder Woman?
I've heard a lot of for Wonder Woman, and then I've heard a lot of really good stuff for Absolute Superman too, but I'm like way behind on that one.
So
I
agree.
personally loved Absolute Superman. I loved Absolute Superman. It's my favorite.
Especially the last arc.
Now.
Absolute Batman has never been my number one favorite of the Absolutes. It started off as Wonder Woman, and then Superman has just progressively gotten better and better, and it's been Absolute Superman for probably the last like 10 issues or so. It's been phenomenal. But I totally agree. I do really like Absolute Batman. Don't get me wrong; it's a good story. But what that book's doing, like props to DC and Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta and everything. But that book is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
I'm worried with Absolute Batman. It's going to jump the shark. It's going to run to the problem of just it just keeps escalating, and then eventually it's just going to be like, we can't push this any further, and it's just going to die. That's what I'm kind of worried about.
It's going to be a while for that.
Yeah, I hope they don't, but I had that concern a while ago because I'm actually kind of behind on it. I started reading the beginning of this last arc, but I haven't read the whole thing through it. But without spoilers, there's something that really big that happens at the beginning of the arc. I I think that was one of those moments where I was kind of just like, man, you guys are really kind of just like pulling all these characters really fast back to back. But I mean, it still hasn't lost its momentum. So I mean, I haven't heard anyone say that they've like jumped the shark on it. I'm behind on it personally. I haven't read up on the issues yet. I have them all stacked up, waiting to read them. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm a little worried that they're just gonna kind of like pop everything off really fast and then just kind of burn out.
It's
Yeah.
so fast. Like
It's
it is
super fast.
I mean, there's like 20 things going on all at the same time. It's like every 2 pages, which is
Yeah.
awesome for a reader, but for longevity, it's kind of a problem. Question here for you, buddy. Do you like really gently like read the books?
Oh
and
yeah,
sell
yeah,
them to
yeah.
People? They're usually
I am.
Yeah.
I'm a stickler for it, man. I read all my books. Like I try not to bend them too much and everything.
Just
Like a stickler for condition, and I
Yeah.
have some people who even will help me out too. Like for whatever, they're helping me bag and board sometimes when I'm behind on stuff. And I'm like, there's so many times where they're doing stuff, and I'm just like, wait, no, you got to be like more careful. Like just be careful.
Yeah.
Like you're folding the book too hard, or you're throwing it into
Yep.
the bag too hard, or something. And
You're
I'm
making
like,
it look
"Hold
like
your eyes."
absolute Batman number 20. Stop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, it's so crazy because like I'll like watch people on Whatnot shows sometimes, and they're like the way they're like just jerking the comics around. I'm like, oh man, I was like, I don't know if I want to buy that. I'm sure nothing happened to that book what you did just now, but it just freaks me out.
Oh, I know.
When we were at Comic Con, we were at the where was that booth that was selling the Jim Lee stuff at Con?
The Torpedo Comics.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, dude! You could have dropped that out of an airplane in Syria, and it would have been in better condition than what they gave us, man. They were just like pushing
Yeah.
it, and they're individually bagging them. I'm pissed. Yeah.
So I got a question
Nothing's
for you.
over-
Sure. What's up?
How do you feel about the facsimile books?
Oh, I love
And
them, dude.
what-
I've been ordering those. There's some that I miss out
Recently,
on, but
a lot.
I've been ordering a lot of those just because I really like the idea of being able to like read something that's, like a milestone issue or a really big key, but not having to hunt down like these really expensive copies, obviously online, or having to read it through a trade. They're really nice display copies too. You can
I
show them off.
totally agree. They look
Dude, I love
freaking beautiful. The covers are so bright and colorful. Like they just look awesome.
Yeah.
It's really dumb, but something I do love about them is the fact that they actually reprint the old school ads for them too.
Yeah.
The fact that it is like outside of a few things where it's like, yes, this is a facsimile. As best as they could, they tried to make it like as 1-to-1 with the OG comic as they could.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like those with a lot of the like later like 90s ones, or like they're reprinting like the Dark Knight Returns or whatever. And in that
Yeah.
era of DC Comics, they had a lot of ads for other comics, and I really like that because it's not just like the little kind of like mail-in, I don't know, like gag toys or whatever
Sure.
that they
Yeah.
have. They're ads for like the like Bloodline, like DC Bloodline or something like that, or like I think that's really cool. So I really really enjoy that. They're a little bit harder as a sale just because unless they're like a really big key and people want them and stuff. But even though like there's some random ones that I got, like I got the what were they? The it's like the first appearance of the Legion of, they're like the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Superboy, right?
Yes, and like that's a cool cover and everything, and I see it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then I ordered it and then I get it in my hand later and I'm just like, I don't think anyone's gonna really care about this other than me. But I'm like, I'm glad I have it because somebody will come along and be like, that's what I was looking for, and like
Those will
Get it.
sell in 2 weeks when Legion of Superheroes by Joshua Williamson comes
Oh,
out
that's
and
true, that's
determine-
true.
Yeah, so hold on to them. Don't
Don't
fire
put them in
sale
that
them.
back box that you have to dig out,
I know, just
Yeah.
keep them out of the front.
Out of curiosity, out of like obviously you get a ton of books every day that you or every week that you of course ship out all over the place. How many like ongoing series are you currently reading?
Ongoing that I am currently reading. Let's see if I can count them off the top of my head. So Batman, Absolute Batman, and Batman. It's a few actually. So yeah, Absolute Batman. And then I'm reading Zatanna, Deadman. I am
okay.
reading Assorted Crisis Events when that finally came back.
People love that.
Ghost Pepper.
I love
You guys
Ghost
have heard of
Pepper.
Ghost Pepper?
Yes,
Dude,
it's been
in fact,
phenomenal.
that's the answer for your earlier question of like what's another book that's underhyped and I think that deserves more. Ghost Pepper.
Totally agree.
Ghost Pepper rocks, dude. I am also reading. What am I reading on? Oh, Fantastic Four. I was reading Doom Quest. I'm a little behind on Doom Quest. I do a lot of kind of like sporadic jumping around for series, or like I'll pick up a lot of stuff and then read them when I get to it. Absolute Wonder Woman and Twilight Zone.
Okay.
I read a lot of stuff, man. Twilight Zone. I think what else I've been reading right now. I think that's all. That's all the top of my head right now. As far as like ongoing, because I'm trying to think if there's anything else in Marvel that I'm even reading. I dropped Daredevil, fortunately.
What?
Ooh.
What?
I was reading it. My girlfriend's reading it. I just haven't caught up.
Deadman and Zatanna? Oh, man.
I know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else with even Marvel. What's some other Marvel stuff that's going on right now? Because I think I've like kind of
Deadpool's
just dropped.
good.
Deadpool's
Good. On that one too.
I'm not.
I like Bishop. No one else likes Bishop, but I like.
Oh yeah, they've been selling all right. They have some really cool covers. I like Bishop's.
I
covers.
think so. Yeah, Nakayama had one. I thought it was pretty sick. The new one was pretty cool for 3.
I feel like there've been kind of mixed responses from this, but of course Marvel is doing like a bunch of little mini series this year. It seems to be like their theme. It's like 5 issues, 6 issues. They're all very short. I think they've been kind of cool and fun, especially for all the X-Men characters that they've been doing. I've been enjoying them. And I feel like they're kind of good little easy jumping on points. Like it doesn't require a lot of story. It's easy for new readers and things like that. Do you enjoy those? Have you been liking those?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't think that they're good for the industry, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're good for Marvel. Two things, but one, I understand that idea of like they're good jumping on points because I do think they are. Like anybody can jump into them. I personally have an issue with the whole relaunching a number 1 all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that the problem with it is that you are not consistently holding an audience with those. You're just getting a bunch of new people to come in, and then when they see that the series dies, they're just like, oh, all right, and then they lose interest and just go off to do something else. So ultimately, I genuinely don't think that they're good for I don't think it's good for the industry, honestly. I think it's something that Marvel's been like really kind of dropping the ball on.
I feel like it creates like very sporadic, or it makes your fan base very sporadic, which is obviously tough for comic shops and things like that.
Yeah,
to deal with.
It's good for being able to tell. Okay, like one of the things that I don't like about DC, which it's unfortunate, but I mean that's more. It's not a DC issue. It's more of a overarching comic issue. For example, somebody asked me about like Nightwing, and then I'll tell them like, oh yeah, you can read Nightwing, and then they'll be like, oh, but then it's like 40 or whatever issues in. And then they're just like, well, I want to start from the beginning. And I'm just like, oh, well, shit, you're going to have to go like look for the trades or look for issues or whatever, which I usually try to tell people also just being like, you could just jump in. You don't have to, but I know there's a lot of people who preference to like just jump in.
Started an arc.
Maybe one start. Yeah.
Right.
Which actually I really like that there's a lot of stuff that says on the cover now, like new story arc starting or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like this week they just came out with the Wonder Woman. I think it's 31 or 51 or something, but it's the one with the Stephanie Williams.
Yep.
Or like
so it's jumping out with the new. Yeah, so it's a new writer. So like I can tell people like, hey, if you like Wonder Woman, you can jump on with the new writer here. But yeah, with the new kind of like with that whole like launching series in 5s, it is good for that idea of being able to tell someone like, hey, if you just want to jump in and read something, you're only going 4 issues back, 3 issues back. It's simple. I'm usually like lining comic book shops everywhere because sometimes these smaller series don't like catch people, but I think you're also not keeping a audience with just like those 5 issues and then it ends, like
I agree.
I think it kind of like kills the momentum for people who want to start getting into comics if that's like their first entry comic and then it just ends. And like hopefully they enjoyed it enough to be like, cool, I'll go get something else. Or they might just like grab it ends, and then they're just like, oh, well, that was the reason I was here, is because I wanted to read about this character. I wanted to read about Wonder Man, or I wanted to read about Carol Danvers, and then those series end in 5 issues and then they're gone. You know? So I try my best to always recommend more comics to people and stuff, but I think that like honestly, that's not like a good part of the industry, unfortunately. I think it makes it a little tougher.
Absolutely. I think, and like one of my favorite things, because Robin is one of my favorite characters, and Dick Grayson is my favorite of the Robins, and his series right now is one of the coolest things. Is it's the only series still going from Rebirth issue #1 of Nightwing till now, and they're up to like, I don't know, issue
Yeah,
127 or
that
something.
one's crazy, man.
So like super
That
cool,
one and Poison Ivy.
and I have all of it. So I'm like, please don't restart this. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah,
So I
Yeah.
really don't want them to restart it. And I think it would be cool if it keeps going, but yeah, it's kind of frustrating when they start over again from the
no, and I
collector's
mean
side.
definitely like with series like that. With series like that, like I hate when they just restart them. I get it; it's like a daunting number that can kind of scare someone away. But like again, that's why I mean, as like a retailer or comic book shop owner, someone who's selling comics, like you have that responsibility of telling people, like, hey, you can jump in. It's okay. You
Yep.
don't have to start from the very beginning. I have a friend, who I've been trying to convince to read comics, and he's like, I want to read Green Lantern, and I'm like, sure, you can read Green Lantern. That's cool. There's this and there's that, and then they'll be like, but I want to start from like the very beginning, and I'm like, good luck with that, man. You're gonna be spending the next like 5 years. You can do it. But you're gonna be spending a really long time just to get to like Kyle Rayner because you want to read Kyle Rayner. Just start at Kyle Rayner, whatever. So
Yep.
they like I like when they hold that. I think one of the recent examples that kind of really upset me was Ryan North's Fantastic Four. That I like hit 30 issues and then they restarted it with the #1 and changed the artist. Just the whole
Yep.
artist changing thing is a big thing too. But
I hate that.
yeah, man, that shit sucked. I think that's kind of one of the nicer things about the absolute stuff too, and it's a good selling point is that like a lot of those have their teams and they have like they usually do not switch. I know some have.
Yep.
I think Flash has like switched and Superman has switched.
At 15 for Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like drops off on a couple issues and someone else takes over, but it's only one issue at a time.
Yeah, and I mean, same thing with Batman and Wonder Woman. Like they'll have their like for the annuals or for like those two issue story arcs in betweens and stuff. They'll like switch out the artists and stuff.
I think they had Werther the Eldra on part of Absolute Batman at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One of my favorite ongoings is Something is Killing the Children. So anytime he pops up,
that's another one that's been going on for a long time too, right? Like
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm
Like, I
a
really
big fan.
I got jumped. Slurpee basically showed it to me, and I went through like the first 9 trades in like a month, and just like burned through it to get caught up.
Yeah.
You should start Green Lantern.
I tell people all the time, because obviously there's a ton of comic book people and stuff on TikTok and Instagram and everything, and a lot of them like give recommendations on like how to get into comics and stuff, and like personally, like I feel like just keep it super simple, and it's like if you have a favorite character or a character that you're interested in, literally just see if they have an ongoing and jump into it. Like you'll figure out what's going on fairly quick.
Yeah. Oh.
Like they're typically not overly complex, and then a lot of your great writers are going to be able to write a story where new people can jump in and at the same time give enough like Easter eggs and things like that referencing stuff from 2 years ago that your longtime comic book fans still appreciate.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best part about like the whole comic book industry and the culture around it and everything is that like there is a huge back catalog, man.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, especially with the main characters, but even like small characters too, like that same friend with the Green Lantern stuff, like they'll just like randomly tell me like I want to read like Night Thrasher stuff, and I'm like, there's not a lot, but you can go back and find it. Like you can read the stories that have Night Thrasher, or like he wants to read like Sleepwalker, and I'm like, you could find them. There's a series of Sleepwalker, and you can go back and like look through them all. Personally, I picked up all of Hitman at one point, and I like read through the whole thing, read through Bloodlines and stuff like that. But like you can just jump in whenever and kind of like get into a character that you really like. Same thing with I did that with Immortal Hulk. Like that Hulk was not a character that I had ever read, but I heard so many people talking about Immortal Hulk, and I was just like, I'll do it. Picked it up. I got the compendiums for them and shit, and that's luckily is like a series that has like a beginning, a middle, and an end. It doesn't just like end or get cut off or anything, you know, which does unfortunately happen a lot. But yeah, like you just gotta go looking. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you got to go, but got a couple really quick, kind of fun questions for you. Do you think is there ever like a physical store, like dream goal down the road for you?
Yes.
Is it even a thought?
That's the goal. Yeah, 100%, man. That is like the end game for this. Admittedly, I don't have an official like mission statement for my business, but the idea of it always has been I want to build this community around my neighborhood. So I'm established in Boyle Heights, which is an area, it's like a neighborhood in East Los Angeles. Super Latino like community, young, old, and there's I think one comic book shop in our neighborhood, and that's basically it. There's no hobby shops. There's no kind of like hangout locations. There's no dirt spaces.
Yeah.
So for me, the whole idea is to kind of build basically a third space or a place where I can cultivate these kind of community and build it up. One of the things that I've heard before, I can't account it to a person where I heard it on YouTube, but it's always stuck with me is that when they thought about opening their comic book shop, they thought about it almost as like a barber shop because you're not just selling us something, you're kind of building a community. You know, you have people who come in and hang out, people who want to talk.
Yeah.
So that's the end game for me is that like I just wanted to kind of introduce and inject like literature, comics, art, even collecting, like the culture of collecting, the culture of like drawing and stuff, and just kind of bring it into there, you know, and cultivate it.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have Tepos too, you know, right?
I was just about to say, you mentioned a barbershop. Yeah. You do sell at a barbershop now, don't you?
Yeah. So on Saturdays, I haven't been there in just a minute, but I mean, I'm planning on going back. Just I've been busy a lot with shows and you know with the cons and stuff. But there's a barbershop in my neighborhood called Tepa's Barbershop. Really cool spot owned by one of my best friends. And on Saturdays, I do a little pop up there, and I usually just bring in like the week of releases and stuff. And I mean, I just hang out there in the mornings, and people come in. Usually, it's people that like know me already, so they'll message me if I'm there, and like I'll tell them, yeah, come down and stuff. But yeah, that's been really cool. Super gracious of my friend to do that for me, doing it for free, basically. And just little stuff like that, man. Finding people who are like really willing to help. I found some really cool people actually at the last con that I was at. There was these dudes that walked up to me and they were just like, "Oh, cool! Like, you know, you're selling comics." We were talking about comic books and stuff, and then they were just like, "Oh, you're located in Boyle Heights." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, like that's where I'm at and everything." And then I unprompted, because I do it all the time, but I just started blabbering about wanting to open up a physical location and like, you know, I've been doing this for a year and blah blah, and I just started giving him the whole spiel because I get excited about it and I start telling everybody the whole thing. And he was just like, "Oh man, like that's cool." He's like, "Well, actually, you know, we're a vendor here too, and like we have a booth. Well, not a vendor. He's like, we have a booth here too, and we're actually an organization in Boyle Heights that like helps small businesses like establish their business, get like loans. You know, we do workshops and all this stuff." And I was like, "Holy shit!" Like just by like talking to this dude, I had no idea that they were a part of this organization. I just started like telling them about my deal of what I want to do and everything, and they were just like, "Cool, man. Like, well, that's what we do." Yeah, and it was like a perfect like serendipity kind of moment where we just kind of like we met, you know, and we're like literally neighbors, and we just happened to run across each other, and I want to go talk to them and kind of get stuff figured out with them and stuff because they want to help me out too, man. And then also just like meeting other vendors, other actual comic book shop owners and shit.
Yeah.
Or just like, dude, like come through, come talk to us. We'll show you what we do so you can like, you know, get that put together and stuff.
Oh, it's very cool. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Man. There's a lot of really cool people out there. I mean, even you guys too. Like, you know, I know you guys aren't into like the retail aspect of this stuff, but even just talking about comics and like talking about the culture and stuff and like inviting me to these kind of things, man, it really does help a lot, you know?
I'm really into the retail stuff, and if you ever need me to do any work for you, I'll do it for free. I'm very good administratively. If you need me to do stuff, I'll do it for free. It doesn't matter.
Ooh, I have to take that offer.
Just want to be involved.
It's a lot of work, man.
I don't care, man.
Constantly. No. I'm saying for myself, like I'm constantly like playing catch up It's just playing catch up and trying to balance this stuff, man.
Well-
It's nuts.
Well, I feel like you wouldn't know it because we get our books super fast. And that's one of the things I appreciate the most. You get the books super quick and they're always packed like perfectly. I
Yeah.
feel like there's not too much tape, and then there's also not like, you know, no protection for the
No
books.
tape. Yeah.
So
I'm glad that you
think it's
appreciate it,
perfect.
man. I try to overachieve when it comes to my packaging just because I hated getting books that were like either no tape at all, like you're saying, or they're like taped with packing tape, and I'm just like, why the fuck would
Yeah,
you
and
do
they're
that?
like squished together. I'm like,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
in like the effort to protect them, you did more harm than good. But
I prioritize that definitely, and I always try to prioritize like getting them out as fast as possible, just because I know that like the whole idea of like that was one of my biggest challenges getting started with this was I was just like, man, will people actually order books? Like, what's the incentive for someone to order online when they can go to their shop? But then it's like, well, the incentive is like I packed really good, I try to get them out to you as fast as possible. Especially with right now, I don't know how it is out where you guys are at right now, but here where I'm at, like gas is fucking crazy. So it really, I've literally been using this as like a selling pitch. Is just like, hey, it's cheaper for you to get a book shipped to you right now than it is to like drive out to your comic book shop because gas is nuts right now.
Well, and that's the thing for a lot of people
Yeah.
too is like there's a ton of people that don't have comic shops close by, and or they live out in a super rural area, and maybe
Yeah.
they do have a shop, but they don't get a lot of books and things like that. And from my experience talking with a lot of people, they really like some of the online vendors like Warlock Comics. So that's been awesome. Do you have
Yeah.
any plans for possibly like essentially letting users create a pull list on Warlock
Yes.
Comics?
Yeah, I've been working on that since day one. I've had people ask me about it. I've kind of done it just like unofficially through people who just tell me like, hey, I'm looking for this, and I'll be like, okay, cool, I put it on there. I'm trying to figure out a system only because of the nature of the fact that it's online. I don't want people to ask me to order a bunch of stuff and then they just ghost me or disappear.
Yep.
I'm also trying to figure out a way because I also don't like the idea of. I personally wouldn't like it if I had to. If I create a pull list, I have to pay like really far in advance. So I'm trying to find like a good middle ground. That's something where it's like I'm cool with doing that as a business, and it's something that I would even want to do as a customer. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find a way if it's either going to be through the website or through like a referral that I could fill out and stuff. But yes, that is kind of something that I want to do. And also just because from a business aspect, that's honestly like the best thing for a comic book shop. It's super important. It is really, really important. And in fact, me not doing it is kind of to a detriment. It is really important just because like otherwise I'm just ordering things hoping that they'll sell when I could be ordering stuff that I know is going to sell for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'm sure you guys know, and you guys watching it also know that literally it's what keeps comic book shops alive. Like, pre-order your books. It's really important. Not only because like it makes sure that you get your books too, but it makes sure that your comic book shops are actually kind of like doing the business that needs to be for survival.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yes, I'm working on something. I've gotten a lot of people. I know that everyone uses League of Comic Geeks, but I was just kind of like couldn't figure it out. I could probably take another crack at it and figure that out and stuff, but I just wasn't sure how that kind of like gets set up with people who want their pull lists and then kind of me being able to see that.
Yeah.
Do you guys use League of Comic Geeks or what do you guys use?
I do use Comic Geeks.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a really good resource. That and Key Collector. They're like my two go-tos.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even use it to its full potential. I mostly just like I basically just log all my books in there. And I like it because when I do go to a shop or a convention or whatever, I can just pull up like all of my books that I have and use it to not buy duplicates, which I have done many a times in the past.
Same. Something that I really like that I don't think a lot of people use, but I didn't even know about it until recently for League of Comic Geeks is that like when you look at a book, you can scroll down a little bit and there's a comment section and like people are talking about the book and I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like I really like the idea that like there's these open like chats for people to just like talk about the book and like I think it's technically supposed to be reviews, but I see people like communicating through there and stuff, and just like talking about the book, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
dope. I love that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, for the viewers that we do have watching, did you have a little discount code or something that they may be able to access at warlockcomics.com?
Yes. So I set up a discount for 15% off. You can use it up to 3 times, and we'll leave it up until next Thursday, which will be, what's the date of next Thursday? It's August 27th. It'll be up. Just use the word podcast in all caps, and right before you check out, and you'll get 15% off your whole order.
Heck
So
yeah.
podcast, PODCAST.
I am putting it in the stream right now.
Yeah, man. That, and then I always send off like a discount code too for like first time orderers and stuff, just to kind of incentivize people to order
Heck yeah.
again.
No,
Yeah, I'll make sure that those are like stackable and everything.
Yeah, no, I remember like the very first time I ordered, came with, you know, a bunch of cool superhero cards.
Yeah, dude.
And then
Man.
and then of course got a discount code. And then what I've really been liking and I've even posted about it on the channel a couple times. I'm a big sticker guy, and you've been sending out the Warlock Comics stickers, which is so cool. So I absolutely love that. So that's been very cool.
Yeah, dude, those are great. Those are super affordable and nice. I mean, you can just make them out of that like printer. What are they? They're the thermal paper. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I really want to do like, I love doing stuff like that. I made some patches. Did I ever send you guys any of the patches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I made those patches with the local artist that does screen printing nearby.
Oh, very cool.
I want to do like, I want to do like shirts. I want to do stickers. I want to do all this shit, man. I put my branding on everything.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Get it out there. I just started making these new flyers for shows and stuff, and I'm just like, one of these days when I have the time, I just gotta like walk around my neighborhood and start like taping them to telephone poles and shit, and just get it out there, man. We'll start seeing it out on the street and being like, what is this? And then start looking into it,
Heck yeah.
I love like putting goodies in it. I have a friend who works for a certain industry, and they're always just like, hey dude, like, we're done with this. Here's like a bunch of crap that we just have left over. So that's where I'm getting a lot of my goodies to kind of just like put them in there and stuff.
I was going to ask, I was like, you have to have so many superhero cards. I was like, where does he get all these?
Oh man, those are gone. Unfortunately, I had a friend. Unfortunately, those are gone. I had a friend who had a business with cards, and he was always just giving me cards. He was just giving me cards all the time, and I've had them for a really long time. And then when those finished, I was just like, let me look into it. I was like, maybe I can buy like a box of the fucking, what are they called? Their upper deck cards. I was like, let me look into them. And then I found out that the boxes are so goddamn expensive. And I was just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, I can't believe how expensive some of these cards are. But I do have a huge box of Magic the Gathering cards, which does kind of fit in with the whole like fantasy aspect of it too. So those might start going out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of lands.
I saved all my cards, and then I sold them all at a garage sale to like a 10-year-old for like $40.
Oh, nice. Nice.
His mom was so mad. I'm like, hey, there might be some good ones in there. And then I put it back into Warlock.
I always try to put them thematically. Like, actually, you know what it was recently? I opened a bunch of the Magic the Gathering superhero for Marvel series. And I kept all the ones that I wanted to keep, but then all the extra stuff that I had, I was like sending them out with orders, but I was trying to keep them thematic. So like if somebody ordered Daredevil, I was like putting together a bunch of Daredevil cards,
cool.
Like characters that were like that. Or if it's like I'm trying to think of what was like one of the villain series. I don't know, whatever villain series.
You're doing better than Marvel Comics did with how they did some of the covers for that.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Thanos on the cover of a Spider-Man book.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Did you guys collect those?
My local comic shop has a whole rack of all of them, and so it's just hilarious to go take a look at them and like take a look at. Oh, it's Black Panther. Flip it over. Oh, this is like X-Men number 23.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I thought they were cool looking.
Oh, where?
I think I only got one. I didn't get a whole bunch of them.
A lot of
they,
them were
they were cool.
redacted too, right? Like for a little bit, like you couldn't even see them.
Oh,
Or
really?
no? I thought.
What do
Is
you
that
mean?
correct?
What do you mean? What?
Or they were just like black, like they wouldn't show them until release day.
Oh yeah. There was a lot
Oh,
of them
yeah.
were like redacted covers and stuff, or like
Yeah.
sneak peek covers.
You want to sell
Those are
that?
dumb.
Show the freaking.
Yeah.
You guys
so people can pre-order it.
What a
Yeah,
bunch
it's really
of
dumb.
morons. No.
The only thing I like doing that with that is the like those a lot of those like polybag not safe for work ones that have been coming out recently.
Yeah.
Which I like those just because it gives you that incentive of being like, well, what's the cover? You know, like that's a better selling
What's
point
that?
for that.
All the Gooners are like, oh, I gotta find out.
Dude, I am telling you, I straight up have people come up to me and be like, "Do you have any Gooner cover comics?" I'm like, sort of. I try not to just buy. I mean, there's like a million of them, like Vampire and shit that are out there, but I only order them if I think they're gonna be cool series and stuff.
I feel like the term of like Gooner covers and like has really blown up in the last year. It's been hilarious.
Yeah.
I will say the what Bug Wars prints on their polybags for those covers is so funny to read.
The Babs Tar one that I believe just came out is hilarious. Super funny. I don't remember.
I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of curious and I did look up some of those covers. And as someone who's an arachnophobe, oh dear lord, one of those covers absolutely was horrifying.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I know
Bug
exactly
Wars is doing Gooner covers.
Yes.
Yes.
Jason
That one
Aaron.
and Regicide. Yeah, did you see the one on Regicide? That one was like intense. That one was like really gross. I was like, holy shit. But I like it. I was just like, I'm glad that they didn't just go like in the Gooner direction with this. Like they went in like, I think it's just gonna be a Gooner comic, and then you look at it and you're like, holy fuck, what is this? Like, yeah.
I did just recently start reading Bug Wars. I'm like 2 issues in. I got the first trade, and so far it's pretty cool. But I've heard a lot of great things about it.
Wait, it's actually a book worth picking up for something other than the cover art.
Yes, it is Jason. It is Jason Aaron, and he's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So I did feel good about that one.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's a really good one that I think a lot of people are sleeping on right now. Another one too, actually bringing up Regicide again. I haven't read Regicide, but in that same universe and writers, there was a series called Gehenna.
Gotcha.
Check out Gehenna. It's like it was like a 5-issue series, action series about this lady that's like kidnaps a little kid, but the little kid that's like the son of a crime boss, and she's kind of has him hostage while she's like running across the city. Very simple concept of just her being chased through this town, but like the art is really good with like action and just kind of the motion through it and stuff while she's being hunted down. It's very like John Wicky. That one's really good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I think people are sleeping on right now. I think people are sleeping on Dead Man. You guys checking out Dead Man?
I have not been reading Dead Man.
When
you said that earlier.
Yeah, Dead Man's a lot of fun, man. Very, very high concept. Talking a lot about like kind of spirituality and karma and kind of some religious stuff, but it's really cool. I really like Ice Cream Man and what is it? Prince W something Prince. But their Ice Cream Man series is really good. And so that's what kind of got me to read same creative team from that to Dead Man. It's really good. That one's
the one I'm really into. The one indie comic I've been eyeing, I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm really interested in is White Skies. I saw like the plot summary for that, and I was like, that looks interesting.
Yeah. That one had a lot of hype for it at the beginning, and then it just kind of slowed down. But yes, the concept of it was like really interesting. I would like to read that one. I also feel like I'm sleeping on like Dork. Have you guys been reading Dork?
Hondo loves it.
Yeah,
I have a couple Brett Bean signatures I got at con.
Oh, nice.
Really cool guy. He just wrote Bean, and I'm like just a normal print. I'm like, thanks, buddy. Like, he's a super cool guy. And I love it. I love the series. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
And I feel like with White Sky, correct me if I'm wrong, Moises, it was Dork #1 first print, and it sold for like $200.
Oh yeah.
It was just blown it out of the water. And then the next book after that by Image was White Sky, and everyone's losing their mind over that one. But yeah, you're right. I feel like it has lost a little bit of hype after.
Yeah. So has Dork a little bit, but I think White Sky is definitely of the two. Which to be honest or fair, like White Sky was the following the coattails of it, kind of in that hype.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a naturally built hype that like Dork had.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was right after Dork came out, it exploded, and then White Sky came out and exploded. I'm trying to think of what else that came out. I think like Narco #1. If you guys saw Narco, that also like exploded for like a hot second, and then it just like died out. There was a few of them, and then funny enough, like none of them. Well, I mean, they were all just like indie comics. None of them were like mainline DC or Marvel stuff like that, because that stuff is always
Image is
super
going
cool.
crazy this year, though.
I do feel like they're
think-
having a phenomenal year.
Oh my
Especially,
God.
like,
It's going crazy.
all of the Ghost Machine stuff, which has been like a personal
Mhm.
favorite of mine over the last year. Like Rook Exodus is my favorite ongoing and has been for a while now. I love that book. Geiger's been very cool.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of great books from Image. And of course,
Yeah,
that's a
there's
huge
Final
umbrella that
Boss.
encompasses a lot of.
What were you saying?
I said if you guys are big fans of Final Boss, we were talking about
Oh,
Final
Final Boss. Oh my gosh.
Boss.
Yes.
Yeah, Final Boss, Corpse Knight. Gosh, they're just really just beating
Oh,
shit
Corpse
up.
Knight is great, dude.
Corpse
Oh,
Knight,
it's so good.
Corpse
I mean,
Knight was
those-
phenomenal. I do like Final Boss, but Corpse Knight was like I knew nothing about it. Saw issue 1 when it came out, like on the rack, and I was like, "Well, that looks cool." And I like did the classic like flip through a couple pages. I'm like, "This looks fun," and took it home, and I've loved it, and it's on my pull list, and it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys into horror much?
No.
No?
Yes.
Oh, dude, there's some good horror.
Skinny Nerd is, and I am somewhat. It depends on what it is. I'm a little more picky.
Oh man, so that's one of my kind of like goals with the business too. Is like, I know that as much as like it doesn't sell great, I want to build up my catalog of horror. So I'm always ordering because I'm just a huge horror fan. So I'm always ordering a lot of horror stuff. And there's like really good stuff that's coming out right now. There was a series called In Your Skin. It was really
Mhm.
good. It was only like 4 issues. A lot of the Universal horror movie stuff is coming out. It's been really good. The Phantom of the Opera one was beautiful. The art was amazing. It was all like hand painted art.
Very cool.
A bunch of like random little things in there and stuff. But yeah, horror stuff is like something that I'm always trying to kind of build that catalog. So Infernal Hulk. There's some like DC and Marvel stuff too in there that does some good like horror stuff. But yeah.
Infernal's good.
World of
Yeah.
Darkness has some intense covers. I haven't actually looked at the book itself, but I've seen some of the covers for that one,
Darkness?
and there is some like wildly intense stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's crazy.
Well, very cool. I think obviously it's been a great year of comics. DC's been absolutely killing it. Image, I think, has been my favorite. Has been putting out a lot of my favorite stuff this year. Marvel, I don't think, is doing quite as bad as everyone's making it out. I think they're doing some
Yeah.
good stuff too. But yeah, thank you so much for
course.
coming on the show, and thanks for hanging out with us. And
Yeah, dude, this was
if you're looking to get into some comics, as we said earlier, just jump in, pick a character, and get after it, and buy your books from warlockcomics.com. And if you use the code podcast in the coming week, you can get 15% off your books. So help Warlock
yeah.
Comics out, and thank you so much.
what I've also been doing is I've been going into my old catalogs and kind of just starting to discount prices. So take a look in that Cell catalog. I'm slowly starting to just kind of reduce the prices on a lot of the older books, try to get those moving. So you get a reduced price plus the discount. You get some books for really cheap.
Yes.
If the wife says it's okay, I'm buying that Secret Wars from you, and then maybe that picture in the newspaper. I have my eyes on.
I'm very upset that your Absolute Batman #1 sold, because I was planning to snag
dude.
that.
That was a really fair price. That was a really good.
I know.
I was getting ready
And
to buy that, and then I saw it was sold. I think you posted it on Instagram or
And
something
yeah.
that it was sold, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
pissed I didn't buy that CGC variant cover of #1 from you. That you had the 9.8. I can't remember who it was. I think it was the 1 in 25.
Oh yeah. Yes, I have #2 still. Is in 1 in 25.
Number 2.
I'm sad that like I just have a #2 sitting there, and I'm just like, well, the #1. I wish they could have sold together because they would have been a cool like companion
Yeah.
pieces. but now I just have the number 2. But yeah, that one took a really long time for it to sell, surprisingly to me, because I was just like, I mean, you would think that it's a CGC grade, like a 9.8 Absolute Batman, but just because it's not the A cover, people don't immediately see it and go like, oh shit, it's a number 1 of Absolute Batman.
I looked at it every week for like 20 weeks and then just never. And then when it sold, I was like, man, fuck that, dude. I want it.
Yeah. Dude, I got some more Absolute Batmans coming down the line, man. I submitted some.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, you were saying that on Instagram. Sick, man. I'm really excited for that.
Dude. So those will be coming hopefully soon. I think I'm going to start submitting some more stuff into CGC. I stopped doing it for a while because personal reasons that I feel about like the whole culture around CGC and the selling culture of it. I'm just kind of like, it's a weird market. But it's also nice. It's cool to have books that are slab. Like I know that there's some people who are like definitively they will never slab a book. They're just like the books are meant for reading, and I'm like, I get that, but also it looks cool. It makes the book look really cool. So
I totally agree. Like what's funny is I feel like I don't really sell any of my books or any of my stuff. But like I love CGC books just because they look great, they display really well. If it's a signed book, I at least have some amount of verification that it is like authentic, which is nice because I'm not a signature authenticator myself. And then at the same time, like when it's those really old books, it just makes me feel really good that it's in like that hard encapsulated form.
Mhm.
And I feel like I have like a little piece of comic book history, which is really cool. So
yeah.
Really quick,
dude.
too, we were talking about evolving the business a little bit and with League of Comic Geeks and pull lists and everything. Would you ever get into accepting trades at all?
Yeah.
Like, trades for all right.
Yeah, like trade-ins.
Trade-ins.
So,
yes. I know I said
yeah.
that sounds stupid, but yeah,
No,
trade-ins.
no. I think that my biggest hurdle for that is just, having the funds to be able to tell people yes. I don't want to say like I buy comics and then have like people show up and just be like, oh, I don't got the money for it right now. Like I don't want to do that. But I mean, yeah, I want to get into also like taking trade-ins and then like selling those and stuff and kind of flipping just to kind of get that circulating too in the community. My biggest concern with that is just I'm worried that it's going to be a lot of, like I said earlier, like it's a lot of stuff from the 90s. It's going to be a lot of just like, bulk stuff that people invested in the 90s thinking that like that was going to be their
Or maybe
big.
some consignment too, so that way
I do have some consignment. I have, dude. So funny enough, actually, I guess I lied earlier. I have 41 short boxes of new stuff, but I have like 20 boxes of old stuff.
I was still right.
Actually, sorry, so it's 41 of new stuff, but all that old stuff too. That's from when I first started the business, like kind of flipping things, buying collections and selling that. But all that stuff just takes forever to get put onto the website because you have to take my own pictures, have to make my own descriptions. So like that stuff is sitting in there, and the only way to access it really is like asking me if I have something, and then I can like look through it and put it out there and stuff. But I want to also kind of build that catalog of old vintage comics to just kind of put it out there, and like also circulate that kind of stuff through my neighborhood with people that are nearby me and stuff, and getting those older comics out, and into people's hands and stuff. But yes, I eventually will like start getting into like trade-ins and all that stuff, and also trades.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
It was great to have you. And like I said just a minute ago, everyone go place your orders on warlockcomics.com and get yourself some really cool books.
Oh yeah. Yeah, invite me back, man, because this was a lot of fun. Literally like a hot comics, dude.
Heck yeah.
It was dope.
Absolutely. We'll have you back on whenever you want.
Episode 2.
Man. Thank you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thanks so much, guys.
Friend of the show.
Well, I hope you have a good week, and I'm sure hopefully you'll have a bunch of orders to ship out.
Oh, dude, It's already stacking up. That's it's like a good bad thing is that like my business is starting to ramp up now, but that also means that I'm just like all I'm doing is just like packing orders every night, man. Which is a good problem to have, but it is time consuming.
Heck yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, guys.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
See you guys later.
Later.
Have a good night.
Oh, he left.
Don't worry.
Does he not know if it works?
We still have a couple things that I wanted to talk about if my two co-hosts are all right with it really quick.
Yeah.
We got Lanterns episode number 1, kind of shifting off comic books a little bit, still obviously comic related. We got Lanterns episode number 1 that came out. I can tell Skinny Nerd has not watched it by his reaction. It's all right, you're not missing much. And then I did finish watching Caped Crusader because, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize the entire thing dropped when it dropped. So when in the first episode, when I thought was only the first episode dropped, I was like, oh, I don't need to watch it. I have since watched it all. And in all honesty, I'm I don't know. I'm not overly excited with DC at the moment. What do you want to do first, Lanterns or Cape Crusader?
Lanterns.
Lanterns?
Yeah.
Okay. I did make a post a few hours ago. I think super disappointed is kind of the best way to put it. I think basically it was everything that everyone was saying about the teaser so far seems to be in the show, at least in my opinion. We're like an hour into it, and the most we've gotten of them being Green Lantern is Hal Jordan made one wimpy ass bubble and still couldn't stop an explosion, and then made fake money to put into a jukebox. And then the writer, I think it's a writer, one of the creators of the show, was on a podcast after the show's release and was like, yeah, we really want, Hal is this experienced Lantern at this point. He only uses the Lantern when he, truly needs to, because he understands it's this big, powerful weapon. And so he got hosed because everyone's like, really? Because the only thing you had him do was like essentially make counterfeit money, and use that out of business. So kind of weird take.
Some guy, right? It was Tom King that said that.
No, Tom King was there. Tom King was not the one that said it. It was one of the other people that worked on the show.
Okay.
Either way, silly take, and I think like so far, it's had very little to do with Green Lanterns, and more so to do with just two Joe Schmo humans.
It's episode 1. Give her a little time. Harry Potter went to fucking Hogwarts, you piece of shit, or whatever he said. Yeah, Skinny Nerd, that'll be very funny later when you watch it.
I'm sure.
And Aaron Pierre is freaking killing as Jon Stewart, man. His dad is also a freaking psycho. He's like, I'm just gonna freaking throw out the 9mm and just shoot a bottle off your head.
Yeah.
In the backyard. Yeah, I know it was but I mean, come on, buddy. We gotta have that kind of stuff.
I think the castings are great. I have no problem with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I'm even fine, like, if you want to make Jon Stewart your primary Lantern for the live action DC universe, totally fine with it. I just don't like the fact that, like, we're an hour into it, and I'm not into the show, and it feels very much like Titans, which I was very excited for as well. And it's just a bunch of like superheroes that dress up like once per season and use their powers once per season. And it's lame. And I'm like, if we're going to make a superhero show, like make the superhero show or just don't, or like make the superhero movie or don't. Cause I'm like, I don't want to go through 7 hours of Hal and Jon Stewart like running around in plain clothes, not being superheroes, because that's not why I'm a fan of them in the comics. And I know we're one episode in, but it just feels like we keep doing this at every step of this show so far. It's like, oh, it's only the teaser, everyone relax. Oh, it's only the trailer, everyone chill out. Oh, it's only the first episode, everyone chill out. And I don't know, it's just kind of going down this path. And then like what that creator said kind of gave me the vibe. This is probably going to be the entire show. at least for the first season of them not really being Green Lanterns.
That's disappointing.
My biggest issue is that Hal Jordan is such a jackass. You know, like I'm like, damn, dude, he's super rigid, like not heroic or what
Yeah.
you would picture a superhero to be, right? And then when the past Hal Jordan came out or whatever that was,
Yeah.
right?
That was
He
weird.
was a lot nicer and like, oh, what's going on? A little more flippant. But he just kind of seemed like an arrogant dickhead instead of like a heroic leader, I didn't really enjoy that. I love Kyle Chandler, and he did pretty good. Also, this is the second show that Kyle Chandler died in the first episode. Spoiler alert. Which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it happened twice. So I know it was a flash forward, but Mayor of Kingstown, he got his head blown off in the first episode, and then it was just Jeremy Renner, and everyone was very mad about that. So
yeah, and then
Setting himself up to be the next Sean Bean.
yeah, man, rip
Yeah.
Sean Bean.
and I feel like Hal Jordan's kind of this, cocky asshole and stuff to some degree, but I don't feel like they got it in the right sense that like Hal is in the comics, because he's still a good guy and he's still a hero and stuff. He's just kind of a little more of a goofball and stuff. But yeah, some parts of it, he was like, honestly, his interactions with Jon Stewart were kind of lame. Like he was just a dick to him the entire time.
He's like rolling
again-
up to the curb, like blasting music, just looking like a degenerate. I'm
Yeah.
saying, what are we doing?
Well, and then the whole thing where Jon Stewart goes and chases the guy, and Hal Jordan doesn't do anything Green Lantern once again. It's like, come on, I'm watching a Green Lantern show, and it's bad enough we're not obviously clearly going to have any involvement with space or most of the other lanterns. I think Sinestro makes a quick appearance, but like, what are we doing? Like, it just sucks. We don't want to. They made a Green Lantern show, but they don't want to use Green Lanterns, and it's really weird. And the courtroom scene I thought was super odd. It was like he wanted to say Green Lantern Corps and just didn't. It was just an awkward scene. I'm like, do they not want to play in this universe? It's like they're like, yeah, we'll make a DC Universe show, but I don't really know about comic books and all that nerdy shit. Like, I don't really want to do that.
Matt Reeves would never do that if he ran Green Lantern.
Who?
Matt Reeves, who does the Batman.
I'm just like,
that's really disappointing, given that that's kind of what James Gunn was like supposed to be trying to go for here. Wasn't like a tightly intertwined like cinematic universe, but like a universe for all these directors to play in. If they're gonna go build their own sandbox, why aren't they going and building their own sandbox?
I know we have Guy Gardner, and that makes it worse for me, actually. Like, he kind of, like, pisses me off.
Well, so apparently it's been, I don't know if Tom King said it or someone said it. So Guy Gardner gets Hal's ring, supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of the episode, he was ringless and dead at a football stadium. Yeah, and I read that, too, that Gardner takes his
and so his ring is gone, and I already immediately was like, okay, obviously ring flew off to someone else. We now know that apparently that went to Guy Gardner. I don't really have a problem with the ring going to Guy necessarily, but it's more so I'm like, he's dead at this high school football stadium in plain clothes, just sitting there, and I'm like, if you're gonna kill off one of the main Green Lantern of all the Green Lantern Corps, can we at least make it cool? He dives saving the world or the universe or whatever at the end of the season or something. I don't know. It seems like that's not going to be the case, and there might be some more mystery to it, but I don't know. It looks like the way that he did die is going to be very disappointing and not very cool at all. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed and bummed with the direction of the show so far, which is a big bummer.
Despite all that, I still enjoyed it.
All
I know
right.
what I said. I still
I
enjoyed it.
I hope it gets better. I don't think it will, but I hope it gets better. Moving on, Batman Caped Crusader. I did finish that. I don't think it was as good as season 1. I agree with you on that, Hondo. And then
But I still think it was good.
It was good.
Yeah, I think for me, I feel like they just like continue to take a lot of the character out of the characters in terms of the villains. Like I said, for season 1, I was not crazy about the Penguin. The Riddler, I think, is kind of lame in this show. He's essentially just your drive-by shooter with a freaking Tommy gun, and I'm like, way to just take everything away from the Riddler. He does nothing other than calling himself like Edward Nygma and shooting a question mark during his drive-by from time to time. So that was kind of disappointing.
They're trying to go a different direction. Like instead of riddles, he's riddling them with bullets, sort of thing.
Yeah,
but it's a funny, it's a kind of funny pun change. But also, the Riddler character is more fun as the Riddler.
Yeah.
I did kind of like the redesign of Scarecrow and kind of what they did different with him.
So Scarecrow was my favorite episode of the entire season. I really liked the Scarecrow stuff. I thought his episode was very cool.
The way they also did Joker, I thought was really interesting.
It was good.
Yeah.
I know obviously it's a very different interpretation of the Joker.
I just feel like the show did what like a lot of people have been like getting more and more frustrated with the Batman like movies and stuff. Like I love the Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman movie was awesome. But like ever since the Christopher Nolan's trilogy, a lot of people are like, great, like everyone loved this, and we're just going to continue to go down this path of like dark and gritty and grounded Batman stories. And I feel like that's kind of what this show is, very much so. Especially with like taking kind of, I don't know, it obviously just, most of the villains and things like that are just not what they were, which is not super exciting to me. I do like it. For me, it's just like it's a good like Saturday morning cartoon while I'm watching or like eating my cereal kind of thing. And I do think it is a pretty easy show to jump in on. Like you can kind of watch any episode and know what's going on. It's not like there's this big overarching story.
Not too much. There's some little hints of stuff that's like there's enough overarching that it is interesting to watch from like episode 1 of season 2 all the way through. But you don't miss out on too much if you just jump in wherever.
Yeah.
My favorite episode was the cult that worshipped like the bat god or
Barbados episode.
What'd you say? What was its name?
I don't know the name of the episode, but the cult of Barbados.
Barbados, yeah. I thought that was super cool.
Or Barbados. I don't remember exactly how they pronounced it.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's been introduced in the books or anything like that in the past. But I was reading Mark Waid's Batman and Robin that came out last Wednesday, and Barbados was the bad guy in that. And I was like, oh my gosh, back-to-back Barbados? Like,
if my memory is... Oh yeah, it is correct. Barbados is the god of the Dark Universe from like Batman Metal.
Oh.
So that's kind of his tie-in.
Okay. I thought that was super cool. The cult stuff is always usually, fun and interesting. And how they all dress up as Batman too, I thought was really cool. Especially seeing like 12 of them all just like the silhouettes like ready to kick some ass.
I'm not wearing hockey pants. Yeah, and then I did enjoy that episode. I think Scarecrow episode was my favorite. Skinny Nerd, did you have a favorite episode, do you think?
Probably the Scarecrow episode, to be honest. I really liked that one. I did like the Laughing Death, the final episode.
That was good.
Of with Joker. getting the kind of classic Joker appears to die but ends up kind of disappearing feels like a kind of classic Joker ending sort of thing. I'm curious if they're going to keep the Joker exactly as if they get, assuming they continue, assuming they do a third season and they bring the Joker back in some way. I'm curious if they'll keep him the same way or if they'll use this as a jumping off point to take him in a more traditional direction.
Yes.
I like.
But I feel like they kind of have the option of that open with the fact that the laughing gas is a thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think like part of my frustration is that so many of the villains like feel the same in most of the episodes, and I think like Batman has this great rogues gallery of villains, and you know a lot of them are different in their own little ways and things like that, and I feel like we've kind of took away a lot of that from Batman.
Too many people are just guys with gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Question mark. False.
Riddler's my biggest disappointment. I'm like, that's so lame. He's just a drive-by shooter. In like the first 5 episodes, he does a drive-by shooting in almost every episode. I was watching it with my wife, and we were like, like by the like 5th episode, we saw him, and we're like, drive-by shooting. We're like, oh, there it is. And you know, it was just like, can we do something better with the Riddler?
What I was really hoping they were going to set up with him is that he was going to start off that way, and then through interacting with Hugo Strange, he was going to get dosed with some chemical that would, instead of changing him physically, he was going to change him mentally, and then shape him into like the typical Riddler that we love. I was really hoping they were going to go that direction, and then they didn't. And I'm kind of with you. I'm disappointed. I would have loved to see him start off as the Riddler because he's, you know, riddling people with bullets, and then become the Riddler as in he's telling people, he's trying to get people to answer riddles. I would have loved to see like that kind of transition.
Yeah.
When Hugo Strange only lasted for like an episode and a half, right? Like I was kind of disappointed in that, like how quickly he was there.
I do like that the show's not afraid to kill off characters. Big fan of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I just wish I just feel like we're doing our villains so dirty in this show.
Yeah,
and
and
Batman's got
our heroes.
great.
We need Alfred on Ozempic. I can't.
Okay. I don't. Fat Alfred really doesn't bother me too much until he comes over the horizon in the plane, and he's just all in the little plane to say, and Batman's like, "I'm not alone. I have friends." And it's big fat Alfred in the little old school plane. I was dying laughing. It was hilarious. I was like, "This is so cheesy." It almost felt like an Adam West Batman moment for a second. It was just like, this is the corniest Batman scene I've ever seen. It was hilarious.
On the subject of like Alfred and Pennyworth, I haven't really kept up with the Batman comics, but I know that we've just I know that we've just introduced a new Pennyworth to the Batman family with Verity Pennyworth.
Was it his niece?
His niece or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that in the Matt Fraction Batman?
Matt Fraction, yeah.
Okay.
You dropped it. So me and Skinny Nerd will talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't read it. I was curious what thoughts were on Verity Pennyworth.
I like her a lot. She's super confident. Apparently, when Alfred died, or before he died, he had this whole like Rolodex of instructions on how to take care of Bruce and anyone tied to Bruce upon the event of his death, right? And so she just shows up at the doorstep and she's like, "Hey, I'm a classically trained butler. My uncle did this, this, and this." If it's her uncle, I can't remember. And she just like freaking runs the show without a beat. Like she comes in, she's like, you know, blah 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 blah, and she's basically the new Alfred, which, yeah, I think she's pretty cool. I think it was a good addition.
And she rocked that pantsuit. Not gonna lie.
yeah, she's looking like a hot Hillary Clinton in that pantsuit, man. Like it's a good deal.
So, all right, I'm gonna be a hater here, but I haven't read it, so I feel like I'm just speaking off what I just heard. I wish they didn't replace Alfred. Like, I
So
again, it kind of goes back to me saying like for the DC universe and Marvel as well, but especially like the DC universe, I'm like, can we move forward, and like actually like have things that like yes, we had an Alfred that died, but he's already been replaced now with someone who is still like an Alfred. Is her last name? Is she actually an Alfred relative? Is it her daughter or his daughter or something?
daughter or niece.
Niece. Okay.
But you
So-
think that's the same as being like, oh, they replaced Dick Grayson with Jason Todd. That's bullshit. I don't like that.
No. Well, so like I am very done with the Robins. Like if they make another one, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It stops at Damien. We're not doing more.
Yeah. See, I was fine with it stopping at. I was fine with it stopping at Tim Drake. I never needed any other Robin after Tim Drake. I'm still not the biggest fan of Damien. He is a little shit most of the time. He's gotten better, but he's still annoying from time to time. And I could kind of care less about him.
Yeah, you should read the new Absolute Batman if you haven't already. Number 23.
I have not read the most recent one. Yeah.
Oh, you should. And then let's reference this conversation later.
With Verity, I think I'm okay with her stepping in into that role, as long as they do decide to use her to do something maybe a little bit different.
She's competent.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting her to be Alfred has never been shown to be incompetent in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but just off the rip, like she's going in there like she knows everything
Mhm.
that's going on in the Batcave. Like she's in there and ready to rock and roll, which is cool. I appreciate that.
It does feel very in character for Alfred to have planned out exactly what was going to happen after he died. That does actually feel very much in character.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess you got it
I'm
added.
curious.
We got
What
another.
they
We
do.
got another 80 years of Alfred, I guess.
Her name's Alfreda, not Verity. It's Alfreda.
I was gonna say, but this time Alfred has a full head of hair.
Yeah, I don't know. Like obviously we've already got Superman kids. We got
So
a million
many
kids under the Batman lineage at this point.
Spoiler.
And it just feels like we're
How
just
many
gonna
Batmans?
we're gonna I don't know. I want things to move forward, like bring new heroes and that sort of thing, but whatever. Oh well. To each their own. Batman's still cool, don't get me wrong. But
Where's my Batman Beyond? Damn it!
there was a cool run with again, kind of back to those like little mini series again. They're kind of hit or miss. But the Batman Beyond Static Shock 6-issue miniseries that they did was pretty cool. Very fun. I liked that a lot.
Rebirth wasn't bad too.
Oh yeah, he did have a Rebirth run, huh?
Yeah, I went like 10 issues
He has-
in and stopped.
He's had a few runs. He doesn't have like zero comics or anything. I'm just saying.
No,
I want
but
more.
like I would love to actually like move towards that point. Like I don't know, in the comics, like we've seen future stuff. So we know it happens, but it feels like we're never actually getting there. And the future keeps moving further down the future timeline, which is a little weird. But yeah, I don't know. So we'll see.
Sounds like I'll
But
shut
there were a ton of announcements at D23, all sorts of Disney movies and all sorts of stuff. They announced a bunch of the X-Men cast members who they have lined up, which is pretty cool.
Indy Navarette, baby.
What's that?
I want the Rogue to have a Southern accent for once. That's all I care about.
Everyone's gonna be mad.
Yeah,
That should be.
I feel like she's not going to. I want her to. It would be very cool. But yeah, I am super hyped for Avengers Doomsday and all that they have going. So yeah, lots of cool, exciting stuff. And we will catch you all next week. I was hoping Hondo would be back, but Oh, well, we will see you all next week on the podcast on Wednesday. And hopefully we can have Warlock Comics back on here soon as well. Use that code podcast. It's literally just the word podcast at warlockcomics.com and get some awesome comic books sent to your door. Other than that, everyone have a good rest of your night.